Hey again, Greg Barnhart from the Hunt Fish Journal. Jerry and I are out here this morning. We're in the amphibious studio this morning, aren't we, Jerry?
That's correct.
That's right.
We're out here catching
little,
pike.
Little pike fishing. That's right.
We're doing pike fishing on throwing some iron, some spinner baits, and as you can see, it's foggy, and we got some bobbers out there, and those bobbers right now have smelled on them. We've got chubs coming in this evening that we'll fish with. We'll try to video that, but anyways, you can see this is total GPS this morning.
Oh yeah, it's foggy. And what we're going to do here is, the reason we're out here fishing for these little boogers, they're great eating, ain't they, Jerry?
They're excellent eating.
So what we like to say is we're hoping to get a good, at least a good size. So this is a keeper size. We're going to show you guys how to take that wide bone out later.
Right. Actually, this is a small pike.
He's small.
But which makes it tougher to get the wide bones out. But when you see how to do this, you will find out that this changes the way you look at pike fishing. This is Jerry Everhart and Greg Barnhart with the Hunt Fish Journal. Greg and I went pike fishing this morning, and we had a mission. We wanted to catch a pike because our goal was to show you folks how to clean a northern pike and remove the wide bones. I don't know how many people ask every year, how do you clean a pike? We're going to show you how to do that. I think we we netted 8 pike this morning.
Yep.
And we have 3 pike that was over 24 inches, and we're going to clean those 3 pike. But we're going to show you how to clean this pike and remove the wide bones. Excellent table fare, excellent fish if you remove the wide bones. So watch us do this. Get ready to clean a pike. There's a couple things you got to have. One's a cleaning bench, a good sharp knife, and a pan. So this is the pan now. I'm going to put water in this pan, because we're going to be putting some parts of the fish in here in a little bit. For you people that are interested in building a cleaning bench, you might look at this. The cleaning bench is actually tilted away from me so that all the water and everything that I clean from the fish tilts away and comes out this small crack. The crack is small enough that small fish and so forth won't go through it. So we're going to start with a sharp knife. So when you clean a pike, there's really not much difference in most of the cleaning process than it would be a walleye or a bass or any other fish. And this is a small pike compared to most, so it makes it more difficult to do the smaller the pike. But we make a couple cuts behind the gill, just as if you were going to clean a walleye, one on each side behind the gills. Okay. Then you make a cut down the back. We're going to cut the right side of this fish. We're going to try to stay on the side of the spine, on the right side of the spine. Now, if this was a boat, we're cutting down the starboard side of this fish's spine. We made a cut like that. When you come back to this fin, we go down the side of the fin, and we're right on the skeleton. We can go through there and cut that back. Now we're ready to turn it over and make the cut down the port side or the left side of the fish. So now we put our knife here. We just go another cut. You can feel that whether or not you're going down the spine. When you get back to here, it'll be on this side of the fin. For most of you folks that clean fish, this is no different so far than cleaning any other fish that you would clean. You can hear the knife cutting. It's cutting through the Y bones. That crunching noise is literally cutting through the Y bones. Now I'm cutting down the rib bones, leaving the ribs bones attached to the pike, of course. I don't want to eat those. And now I've got a fillet here that I'm going to cut. I can decide to go on one side or the other of that fin on the bottom. And there's one fillet. Go over on the other side. Cut down through the Y bones. leaving all the ribs intact. The same as you would clean the other fish. And there's the skeleton. We put that in the trash. We're going to wash our cleaning bench. Raise a little. We'll cut this fin out. That strip down the belly. Now we're coming to a part that a lot of you folks are used to and some aren't, but we're going to skin this pike. A lot of people think to skin a fish you got to saw the knife like this. Actually, that amount of action with the knife is minimal. Most of the action is with this hand, with the skin side. The skin hand, the one that you're pulling the skin. You make a little incision here so that you can get a hold of something. You reach a hold of the flesh and the skin, and now I get it to where I can move my left hand, in my case, back and forth with a slight move of the tilting back and forth of the knife, not much. I'm wiggling the fillet, and there it is skinned. And there's the skin. I'm going to repeat the process with this one. Got a little close to the spine there. Like I said, harder on smaller pike like this. If you can see it and do it on these, you can do it on any pike. Okay, we're going to do the wrist action. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth and remove the skin. There's your fillet. Wash your table again. Wash the fillet. Now comes the process of removing the Y bone. To remove the Y bones actually are in this fillet from right here to this streak that goes through the fish. That's on every fish. Some people call it a mud vein, a mud streak. I don't know what it is, but it's a streak that is not good table fare in most fish. When I'm cleaning a walleye or any other kind of fish, I always remove that anyway from the fish if the fish is any size. So I'm going to get the Y bone out from here to here. So I take my knife and tilt it away from the fish, and I'm actually, you can feel it slipping down the Y bones. And when you get to here, there's no more Y bones. You come over all the way over to this streak and cut it out. And now here is a fillet, piece of pike, no Y bones. I'm going to make a cut here. And remove the Y bones. And there's the Y bones. Inside of this is full of, I call millions of bones. I mean, little bones that some people pick through, but I don't prefer to eat them. Now, some people will say, look, you're throwing away a lot of that fish. I will tell you, if you think you're throwing away a lot of fish, keep it. If you want to pick through those bones, fry it. Help yourself, you know. But I prefer not to eat those bones.
Or boil it down.
Yeah, or whatever you want to do.
Off,
whatever you want to do. But there's the Y bones. This is the part that people want to get rid of. That's why they don't clean pike, because of those bones. So now we've got two fillets. With these fillets off of that side, I'm going to move this little, what we call red toned meat. Now, if you like your fish tasting a little more fishy, then leave it there.
Stronger.
It's a little stronger. But I will remove that on most of my fish because it helps the taste. Now on smaller fish, it doesn't make much difference. So I remove all that, and now I have a fillet. I have a fillet here. I'm going to do the same on this one. I'm going to remove the Y bone. I'm going to cut the top of the Y bones, curve the knife, go down through there again. You can feel the knife. It's not cutting the bones.
Just riding along.
Right along the edge of the bones. And there again is another piece of meat, or boneless meat. I come down the actual streak that we're talking about, remove this red streak from the fish right there, and there's the Y bones on that side. And here is your fish again. Now I've got a little bit of something on this belly fat. I'm going to remove this piece. Normally I wouldn't do that, but this fish has been bruised or lamprey eel or something there, so I'm going to remove that piece from it. And that makes the fillet look a little different than the other one, but it's still the fillet. I cut a little piece out of it of where that fish had been bruised or something. So now we have 4 pieces of boneless pike. Next thing, into the water. They go into the water. I wash them nice, a good bit by rotating them. Getting most of the off of them. And you can see how milky that water is. We're just washing them. This is a preliminary washing. Here's the fillets from that fish without bones. This is the meat that come from the pike without Y bones removed. I took it out of the rinse pan. Now, some folks would prefer to put this whole fillet in the frying pan and fix it the way it is. That's your choice. Many people would bread it, heavy breading, and deep fry it, and that's the way they fix their fish. I usually fix my fish in coconut oil and sometimes olive oil. So I like to have my fish in smaller pieces than this. I don't deep fry it as much as I fry it, quick fry it. And I do have a breading. I will take it and cut it up into smaller pieces like this. These are smaller pieces. The fillet's smaller. Now I haven't finished rinsing yet. But I will take then, after I've got this prepared, these smaller pieces, I will put my breading, which is often pancake mix or pancake mix with Drake's, which is a commercial breading that you can buy, or flour with some cornmeal and the seasoning that you like. And I will take these fillets, which are this size. I will take them, sometimes they're that size, even smaller. I'll take them and put them in a Ziploc bag with my breading, and I'll shake them until I have them completely coated with the breading. Then I have my shortening hot on the surface of the stove, really hot, and then I'll take these fillets and put these pieces in it. So I cut mine into smaller pieces than a lot of folks do. That's preference again. You can choose how you want to do it. So I'm cutting them up now in the size that I prefer. You can cut them up to whatever size you prefer. And there is that pike in the pan. Now, you saw the initial pre-wash. I'm going to take these fillets, this pike, with the bone removed, and I go through this washing process. This is important. I do this on every fish that I clean. For example, perch and bluegill, you may not have to wash them as much, but basically every fish that I clean, I do this. I put them in clean water and I just wash them and knead them, squeeze them, and wash them in this water. Knead them and wash them in the water, and knead them and wash them in the water. And what I'm doing is I'm washing some of that undesirable fishy taste out of them. Now, there's still plenty of fish oil left inside the fish. I'm not hurting the healthiness of it. And if you look at the water, it's still milky colored. Not as milky as it was initially when we put the fillets in there, but still milky. So I'll dump that out, and I will wash them and rinse them again. Repeat the process until my water really clears up. It's not as milky as it was before. Remove my fillets. And it's not quite as milky as it was before. It's clear. While I'm rinsing this fish again, I'll mention, in my opinion, why I think that the pike tastes so much better, the northern pike tastes so much better when you remove the Y bones. On a traditional fish, such as a walleye or a bass, or even a perch, if you poke your hand with that fin in the top, what happens?
It's very sore.
It gets sore. It hurts.
Absolutely.
It hurts. And that's because I think that fin in the top of that fish is used to secrete some of the poisonous or some of the parts of the fish that's not healthy to the fish, because then it gets infected. If you just poked your hand with something else, it wouldn't be that infected. So I think that those fins are one of God's ways of removing the impurities of the fish. Toxins or whatever. Now, I'm not a fish biologist, so I'll probably get a lot of comments on this. But in a pike, in a northern pike, there are none of those fins. That's just smooth. And those fins are the Y bones that turn in on the inside of the fish. So those Y bones basically are inside the fish. So I'm removing those Y bones, and I decided not to eat them. Like I said, you may eat them if you like, but I decided not to eat them. So I think that my pike tastes better without the Y bones than it did with the Y bones. In addition, I don't like picking all those bones out. So I think that's my theory when it comes to why the pike is so good without the Y bones. Again, we've kneaded it, and looked at this now. I want to show you. Once you've done that 3 times, and actually it was 4 times, see how clear the water looks? That's good enough. That's good enough. I'm ready now to put that pike in the pail, and what I will do with this pike, I will take a serving amount of what we would consider a serving for me or 2 or 3 people, whatever you think is a serving, and you put that pike in a freezer Ziploc bag. I prefer the ones that don't have the little zippers on them. I like those for storage, but when it comes to freezing my fish, the ones without those detached zippers don't fail as much. So I use the Ziploc freezer bags, put my fish into the freezer bag. I'll put water into the freezer bag till the bag is nearly full of water. I will zip it nearly closed, and then I'll squeeze it to squeeze all the air out of that bag, and water starts coming out of it. Then I'll zip it up. So I now have my pike frozen. If I'm wanting to keep it to eat this winter or later on, I've got it in a Ziploc bag, airtight, in water, no air to it. So no freezer burn. That makes your fish better, whether it's pike, walleye, or whatever. I do know that pike kept for several months or a year, in my opinion, has a little stronger taste than it did when it was first caught or frozen. Where a perch will keep for in a freezer, it'll keep for months, even a year, and you'll be hard pressed to say that the taste of the perch has gone south. Pike, I wouldn't say it goes south, but the quality of it after it's been frozen for many months is not quite as good. I think that's the only disadvantage of pike as far as the table fare. So pike, now we know how to clean a pike. Now you know how to clean a pike. Remove the Y bones and prepare them for your dinner
Table
today
fare.
or later.
Now and in the future, right?
Now or in the future. So this is Jerry Everhart of the Hunt Fish Journal. I hope you've enjoyed this educational broadcast on how to clean a northern pike.